Picture this, a dinner party. Everyone's sitting together, couples next to each other, laughing, only there's one empty chair. That chair was mine. For years, that empty chair was the price my girlfriend paid for being with me. She showed up alone, again, and smiled through it, while I sat at home convincing myself I was protecting us both. I wasn't protecting anything, I was destroying the most important thing in my life. And I didn't even see it happening. About 3 years ago, I was in a place that I wouldn't wish on anyone. My stutter was at its worst, my anxiety was through the roof, and I had quietly built a life that revolved around one thing: avoiding any situation where I might have to speak. I told myself I was fine. As long as I could control when and where I showed up, I was gonna be okay. What I didn't realize is that I stopped showing up at all. Not to social events, not to opportunities, not to the people who needed me there. I called it protecting myself. Looking back, I was disappearing. My girlfriend at the time had been with me for around 7 years. 7 years of being my safe place. 7 years of being the person I leaned on when things went wrong with my speech. She was always there for me, and I think somewhere in my mind I assumed that she always would be. What I hadn't thought about is what my limitations were doing to her. She was proud of her boyfriend. She wanted to show up to the world together, at dinners, at parties, at moments that matter in a relationship. Instead, she kept arriving alone, making excuses on why I couldn't make it, again, sitting across an empty chair, again. And every time that happened, something broke inside her a little more. I know what I was afraid of. I was terrified that if I showed up, really showed up in a group with all eyes on me, with no escape route, that I would fall apart completely. I had moments like that before. The kind where you go home early and sit in silence in your car because of what just happened. I wasn't willing to risk my last piece of dignity, so I stayed home and she sat alone. This went on for years, and what I didn't see and what I couldn't see is that it was stacking up slowly inside of her. Until one day it had stacked up so high that she just couldn't see a future with me anymore. 7 years, and she told me she didn't know if she could stay. I remember that moment like it was yesterday. Not because it was dramatic, but because it was quiet. And in that quiet, I heard something that I had never let myself hear before. I had done this, not my stutter, me. The most beautiful thing in my life was gone because of the walls I had built around myself. That was the biggest price I ever paid. But here's what I want you to know, because your story may not look like mine. Maybe you haven't lost a relationship. Maybe nobody around you even knows how much this is costing you. Because some of the biggest costs are invisible. The business opportunity you didn't pursue because you couldn't imagine selling yourself to a room full of people. The friendships that quietly faded because you let too many plans fall through. The person you hurt, not because you're a bad person, but because your behavior made it look like you didn't care, when really you just couldn't explain yourself. The energy every single day spent planning, hiding, calculating how to get through conversations without exposing yourself. That is a tax that people who stutter pay every day of their lives, and nobody sees it. I used to call myself a confident person, and underneath all of this, I still am. But my stutter spent years quietly dismantling that confidence, layer by layer, until I looked in the mirror and barely recognized who was looking back. I got one more chance, and I don't know why she gave it to me, but she did. And the day after that conversation, something inside me shifted completely. I called it Face the Demons Day. I went out and did every single thing I was avoiding, one after another. It was brutal, and it was the most alive I had felt in years. Because for the first time, I wasn't running from something, I was running towards something. That day taught me something that I now believe completely. You don't need the perfect plan, you don't need to feel ready. You just need a reason that's bigger than the life you've been living. I had that now, and I was never going to lose it. That was the beginning of everything that followed. I want to end with something personal. When I lost her, even for just those days I thought it was really over, I felt completely alone. Nobody in the world could understand what it felt like to have something so precious be taken away by something so unfair as the way you speak. I want you to know you are not alone in this. And I want to ask you in the comments, if you're willing, what has your stutter cost you? Maybe it was a relationship, maybe it was a dream, maybe it was a job, maybe it was simply becoming the person you always knew you could be. If you're willing, Tell me in the comments. Because someone else reading your comment tonight is going to realize that they're not the only one carrying this weight. And sometimes that's where the healing begins. If there's one thing I wish someone had told me years ago, it's this: the darkest seasons don't last forever. Even when it feels like nothing is changing, keep going. There's always something you can do, always another step you can take. And maybe right now, becoming completely fluent feels impossible. But let me ask you something. What if you could reduce your stutter by even 70%? How different would your life look? What conversations would you finally have? What opportunities would you finally say yes to? Who would you become? Because this journey isn't really about your speech, it's about getting your life back. You don't need the perfect plan, you just need a why that is stronger than your fear. So roll up your sleeves, decide that your back is against the wall, and decide that there is nothing standing between you and the voice you are capable of building. Don't do your best, do what's necessary. There are better days ahead. Your job is simply to keep walking until you reach them. I'll see you in the next one.